Thanks, Claire. I'm Lisa Farmer, and I'm the managing partner for Boyden UK and Ireland. And I also am the global co-lead for interim management within Boyden. And I've been working on senior level interim mandates for the last 20 years. And I cover a broad range of sectors, including consumer, technology, and I also provide interims for private equity firms. Boyden are one of the oldest search firms in the world, founded in 1946, and we've got about 250 partners internationally, and we cover everything to do with executive leadership, people development, and we have dedicated interim consultants all across Europe, and we've been, as a firm, providing interim management solutions for businesses for 20 years.
Thank you, Lisa. I look forward to getting more insights from you. Ross, can I move over to you to introduce yourself?
Yeah, yes, many thanks indeed, Claire, for hosting this today. So I'm from Odgers Berndtson. We're the #1 UK search firm, and we're the largest interim provider here in the UK. We've got a very much an international presence, not just in the UK, but over in the US, multiple consultants throughout Europe, and a strong presence in Australia. I lead the business services practice, and within business services, it's a multitude of disciplines. And within within the UK, we've got 25 fee earners that specialise in lots of different sectors, and I think it's fair to say we do more board work than any other firm within the space. And certainly in terms of sort of Odgers Interim as a whole, I've been with the business for 4 years. There are many consultants who've been with us for sort of 15, 20 years plus. And in doing so, there's a whole host of sort of knowledge to draw upon, which I'll be able to share with you today.
Thank you very much. So we've got Ross and Lisa here that are based in the UK with a European and a global focus, but mainly on European side. And now we've got Tim. Tim, you're based in the US, so great to have you with us.
Thanks, Claire. Great to be here, and greetings from Chicago. I am the global managing partner and leader of Heidrick & Struggles Healthcare and Life Sciences practice, which constitutes everything from device and diagnostics to pharmaceuticals to healthcare and healthcare delivery. Heidrick is a global executive search firm, and we also have business lines in leadership consulting, technology, and interim talent through our colleagues at Business Talent Group, which is where our fellow panelist Elaine comes from. And I will let my colleague Elaine share more about Business Talent Group.
Thank you, Tim. Thank you, Tim. Thank you. Hello, everyone. I am Elaine Leff. I am a Senior Managing Director at Business Talent Group. I am based here in the San Francisco Bay Area. Our Business Talent Group is a network of a marketplace of over 20,000 independent professionals. We focus on both interim executive roles as well as short-term consulting placements. I have been with Business Talent Group for over 12 years now on the talent solutions team. And I am primarily focused on private equity clients, serving private equity clients, as well as some life sciences clients. And we see a considerable amount of interim executive needs from our clients.
Thank you. So as you can see, we have a great panel here, and I do encourage you all to write your questions in the Q&A, and we will try and get to as many of them as we can live, and if not, we will be answering them later on. So let us start with, how do interim roles work? So Lisa, if I can direct this to you, what are the different reasons for hiring an interim?
There's a number of reasons why clients hire interims, but it's normally, there's kind of two routes to this. So it's normally planned, or it's a reactive resource. And I think it can be for very positive reasons, because of growth, as well as for more challenging times like turnaround, transformation, etc. The planned reasons can be for major projects and programs where you're not going to need skill beyond that piece of work being delivered. And it can also provide bench strength to embed processes and procedures. And we see a lot of that in finance roles, for example. The reactive reasons are probably the reasons that we're more familiar with as a result of M&A activity, for example, or significant growth phases where you need an injection of skills to manage kind of sudden departures or poor performance. But interims are always brought in to direct and to lead and to drive through change. And normally it's at director level, so director or board level. And interims are a really flexible resource that clients can bring in, and they can bring in senior level talent when they need it. So it's really efficient, it's really sustainable, and it's a really value add proposition. And I think we're seeing now a lot of clients using interim as part of their overarching talent strategy for their businesses.
Well, thank you, Lisa. That's given a lot of clarity into the reasons, for hiring an interim. Ross, maybe if I can just ask you this question: what are the common misconceptions about interim roles?
It's a really interesting question, that, Claire. And I suppose in terms of from a gloves off approach, many years ago, the interim space was considered to be where candidates would go for those candidates that were struggling to find permanent roles would then go on to become interim. However, roll the clock forward 10, 15 years, and it's a totally different landscape of the sorts of individuals. So as Lisa's talked about, that interims suit a certain type of individual. Those that enjoy change and transformation is a big tick in the box, and it'll suit those sorts of individuals. Those that enjoy driving a business through an exit, looking to make an acquisition, anybody that involves significant change, significant transformation, those sorts of roles will appeal to them. So in short, there were some misconceptions that have existed in the past, but it's very much interims are very much embedded in part of a long-term strategy of any organisation, and are very heavily reliant on it. And I suppose an example of an interim placement that I made last year into a FTSE 250. An interim CFO that was appointed on £1.5 million total remuneration. So that gives you a feel in terms of the interim space is gone of the days of dusty old candidates that couldn't find permanent roles. This was a high-profile individual that turned around a FTSE 250 organisation and was paid a significant sum of money for doing it. So and it's those sorts of placements which really demonstrate where interims can add the value.
Thank you, Ross. You really highlighted to us how interims are really there up at the top, and it's just not, as you said, just filling in a gap. It really has a strategic role in moving along with that. And Tim, can I direct this to you? How is interim leadership different to traditional leadership?
Yeah, thanks, Claire. I think building off of Ross and Lisa, clients will come to Heidrick on an executive search engagement, looking for someone who will be there with the company, grow with the company, lead the company through a significant period of time. That takes time. That is a significant exercise. And often there's an opportunity to bring individuals who, in many cases, are the peers of the individuals that we're looking at for permanent leadership roles, to meet a specific goal, as Ross and Lisa have said, whatever that may be, whether it's get through a transformation, whether it is to get them to a point where they're ready for someone to lead permanently, whether there's in some cases, a cohort of interim folks that can get an organization to a certain point. The key here is the individuals have made the choice to be one or the other. And a client is clear on that, and the search firm is clear on that, and the individual is clear on that. And if you're looking to land a permanent traditional leadership role, present yourself to the talent market that way.
Thank you, Tim. Elaine, I've got, there's quite a few people asking questions about this. Can an interim role be positive for your overall executive career strategy?
Yeah, yes. So I think I think yes is the answer to that. So for a number of reasons. So first is that I think that it is a career choice, right, to be an independent professional and interim executive. It is very different than, as Tim pointed out, as a permanent role. And so it also provides, quite a bit of diversity and exposure to different industries, business situations, cultures, organizations that can really help somebody through their, in their career trajectory. It also allows for a lot of flexibility, and as the talent has actual choices in terms of which interim roles that they select. And then a couple of other is that I think, as Ross pointed out, you can have a lot of impact, great impact within a short period of time with a lot of these interim roles. I've seen, interim executives really be able to change the strategic direction of a firm in a very short period of time. And then lastly is that talent can also really be able to stretch into an entirely different role than they may have otherwise had the opportunity to do in a permanent role. So, for example, recently we had a need for a CEO of a consumer products company, and they wanted more of an operational bent. And so we looked for COOs, and a lot of the talent that were former COOs were really intrigued by the opportunity to become an interim CEO, and an opportunity that may not have been afforded to them if in a permanent role. So there's also that ability to stretch into a new role.
Okay, no, thank you. Lisa, I think we're going to move on now to what makes an ideal interim candidate. And there's lots of questions coming in there on the chat and the Q&A saying what sort of skill sets do I need, etc. But what